Hi guys! So today I'm going to be talking about Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. I mostly listen to the audiobook with listening books and I really enjoyed this book. It's written with two perspectives, so it follows two characters, one called Libby and one called Jack, and both of them are dealing with some quite challenging situations. Jack is face blind, and that means he can see faces, he knows it's a face, but he has no idea who it is. He can't recognise them. So as you can imagine, that's very difficult for him. And Libby used to be the world's fattest teen. That's how it's described in the book. She's no longer as big as she was, but she's still quite a bit larger than everyone else, and that comes with its own struggles. And then their paths cross and the story goes from there. One thing I really liked about the audiobook was that it had two readers, one for the boy and one for the girl, and I just really liked that. It was like listening to a film almost. And in terms of the writing, this is a really quick and easy read. I love the sort of books that you can just fly through the pages, and this was definitely one of those. In terms of the characters, I thought each of them had a very clear and distinct voice. They were very realistic, and when you were reading it, they didn't sound like the same person, and that seems like quite an obvious thing to say, but I've read dual perspective books before and the characters' voices just kind of merged and it wasn't very clear which one was speaking without having their name at the top of the chapter, but that was not the case at all with this book, and both of their situations were very well researched. So Jack with his prosopagnosia, the face blindness, that is something that most of us haven't experienced, and reading this book you were really thrust into his world and were seeing things through his eyes, and I thought it was done really well. There are a lot of things that I just hadn't even thought about, things that I didn't know could be difficult for a person until you see him go through it, and the same with Libby. So I thought it was very well researched, and for the most part it was handled in a very sensitive way. Another thing I loved about the characters was that they were very three-dimensional. We got to hear about their friends, their family, their hobbies, their pasts, and that really helped to bring them to life. One thing about the plot that stood out to me and that I really liked was that it was very cyclical, so ideas that were discussed or talked about in the beginning then came to make sense as the story went on or they were explained, and I really liked seeing that. I like it when the arch is actually more of a circle and comes back to the beginning, and that happened with a few different things in this book and I really liked that. And also it was just a really sweet and endearing story, so if you like stories like that I think you'll like it. It is kind of a typical romance. It didn't blow me away at any point. I didn't feel like a huge shock or surprise really with this, but I wasn't expecting to, and so I still liked it. And as I was reading it I was thinking this book is on the road to getting 4 stars. And then this is a spoiler, so I'm going to turn the book round, so all the time the book is this way I'll be talking about a spoiler, and then you can watch again when I turn the book back round. So the big thing I didn't like was that Jack kind of overcomes his condition because of love, and when I was reading that I was just thinking that's not how life works, and I hate this trope. I don't know why it's such a common one, because it's just not realistic. I feel like if you've got a condition yourself it could give you false hope, and also you don't have to get over the condition to be lovable, or I don't know, I just don't think you should make it unrealistic. This isn't like magic realism or something. I just didn't like it. I know I'm not talking very eloquently, but that trope I think has got to stop. If it were me, my condition makes me faint when I stand up. I could love someone with my whole heart, but there is no love that could make me stand at the altar because I would pass out. So when they suggest that, oh, because he loves her he can recognise her face, that's not how it works. Just because you love someone, it doesn't stop your condition existing. I still wouldn't be able to stand there and say my vows, but I can sit and do it, so, you know, that's fine. There are other ways around this. He can love her for who she is. He doesn't need to recognise her face. He can recognise other things. And it happened near the end as well. I was thinking, It did so well, and I thought it was going to be one of those books that didn't have that sort of trope in it, and then wham bam, there it was right at the end. So that is it with the spoiler. Apart from that, I did really like this book, so I think it's worth reading, and I think if you like cutesy romances then you'll like this too, especially if you want something light-hearted and easy to read. Then I would highly recommend this. It was going to get 4 stars, and then because of that trope that they threw in at the end, I'm actually going to give it 3.5. But I did enjoy it nevertheless, so I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!